Hey everyone, this is our group for the military of Pakistan. The people in our group is Cameron Burgess, Trevor Bigham, Neor Jar, and Braden Smith. And the reason why we wanted to present the military of Pakistan just because of the huge impact that the military of Pakistan has on the local, regional, and global scale. From the many wars between Pakistan and India to even a war of the Taliban, which still causes turmoil today. As well, we want to help you gain a better insight of how military leaders have become dictators and control the government of Pakistan. All these different events about the military have impacted Pakistan's economy, politics, and even international affairs. The creation of Pakistan occurred in 1947 when Pakistan separated from India, which was known as the partition. Pakistan became the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. The founder of the nation, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, had a vision for all Muslims to be in a country where they were free and had equal representation. Although the ideas he first had of the country never fully developed the way he anticipated. Instead, soon after the partition took place, there was much bloodshed between the people of India and Pakistan as they moved to their new territories. From these events caused another layer of tension that continues to reside between India and Pakistan, which would lead to more battles and wars. Other problems arise between these two nations in the boundaries of the Indus River and the isolated territory of Kashmir. There are many disputes over who actually owns what, and because of this, these militaries continue to build to show their strength. For example, there is a nuclear arms race between India and Pakistan, which is a very scary reality from a global aspect. From understanding the beginnings of India and Pakistan, you can soon realize how their hatred has led to so much conflict and military powers.
During the war between Russia and Afghanistan, Pakistan played the role as home base for Saudi American fighters. They aided them with supplies and peace during the battle that was taking place in Afghanistan. During the battle, many of the civilians from the surrounding areas needed safety from the war. This safety was secured in the borders of Pakistan. With this influx of human masses, Pakistan was becoming worried about the limited resources they had to sustain the people. The relief bill had reached the 3 billion trademark deficit. Pakistan also aided in the war by being in control of the weapons shipment into the war. The regulated and distributed weapons to aid in the war. This soon became an expensive ordeal because the guns had to pass through many different hands before reaching soldiers. When the weapons reached the soldiers, the prices of weapons had skyrocketed.
The wars between Pakistan and India. Since the creation of the Army of Pakistan in 1947, Pakistan has confronted the Indian Army. Four wars have broken out since. In 1947, the recently formed Army of Pakistan confronted the Indian Army to combat the Imperial Indian Partition and the creation of the new Muslim country. In 1965, another conflict broke out when Pakistani troops invaded India, with the Indian Army doing the same. After 3 wars without a winner, the United Nations ordered a ceasefire. In 1971, during the conflict between Pakistan Occidental and Pakistan Oriental, both nations returned to confront one another, but this time with India supporting the independence of Bangladesh. The result being the Indian Army expelling the Pakistani army. In 1998, the Pakistani government obtained nuclear technology in response to nuclear warfare tests since 1974. In 1998, the last official war between the two countries started with Pakistani soldiers infiltrating India. The conflict is currently more stable despite a few attacks in the Kashmir region, both countries having military forces in Kashmir. In 2015, the Pakistani government spent 3.57% of its PPI in border defense, especially on the Indian front. Bangladesh Liberation War. In March of 1971, by order of General Tika Khan, the Operation Searchlight against the political party Liwa Agami was executed. Liwa Agami in that time was part of Pakistan Oriental. Tika Khan sent troops to attack Dhaka University and the streets of Bangladesh, killing in the assault 30,000 people. The war only raged from the 26th of March till the 17th of December, but in just those few months, the Pakistani military committed a terrible genocide, killing over 3 million of the people of Bangladesh and forcing over 10 million to flee to India. On December 3rd of 1971, the Indian Army took part in the conflict as well, deciding to support Pakistan Oriental in the war and managing to expel the Pakistan Army in less than 15 days, thus gaining the independence of Bangladesh. War against the Taliban. At the beginning, ISI and the military forces supported the establishment of Taliban on the rural zones of Pakistan as strategy to increase its forces against India. In 2008, they were forced by the US government to fight against the Taliban. Pakistan government initiated an attack against the Taliban in South Waziristan. However, the Taliban were stronger in the northern part of the country, where they were committing many human rights abuses. 1 year after, the government executed an attack on the provinces of the northern part. They announced to the people 2 weeks before that the militaries would be fighting against Taliban. They should leave their houses in order to avoid deaths. It was the place where Malala lived after the school attack in Peshawar in 2014. The government has improved its efforts to fight against Taliban. Nevertheless, the international community has said that the Pakistani military's war against the Taliban is an ineffective war.
Pakistan has seemed to always been behind India when it comes to advancing war and being comfortable in its worldly position in war. Whenever India comes up with a new war machine, Pakistan tries to mimic or develop a similar system with some better advantages. This back and forth tactic has not suited well for Pakistan. Many of their resources and GDP have been spent on gaining a better military advantage over its enemies and potential enemies. For example, India developed a submarine ballistic missile. This advancement in the naval armory placed Pakistan in a frenzy. Pakistan developed and announced a Naval Strategic Force Command and a submarine-based nuclear striker with progressing capabilities. I believe this is a rapid transformation in warfare artillery accelerated Pakistan into a nuclear market. This constant back and forth between India and Pakistan does not come at a small price. Pakistan will need further funds to generate more research and development. This means there will be a greater strain on the people of Pakistan to fund this expensive task.
Modern-day war on terrorism. After September 11th, the Pakistan government actually played a big role in assisting the American troops sent into the country to fight the different terrorist organizations. Access to the country, as well as other routes of travel, were open to our troops, as well as native men being trained to assist our objectives. Today, the Pakistan government still allows us to operate in their land and even use drone strikes on their soil. Assistance in intelligence and fighting power is still given to combat the ISIS groups and other extremists from the Pakistan army. America is an involved ally. Ever since realizing that we had been part of the support and cause of the terrorist attacks upon our own nation by supporting the ISI with all the money and weapons that we did, we quickly tried to right the wrong, or at least stop the wrong. The United States started to train different troops all around Pakistan and Afghanistan to be able to hold their own and support their villages. American forces have been leading strikes and operations against the extremist groups of Al-Qaeda and other sections of the Taliban. Like we talked about recently, and some of those strikes were done by drones, leveling buildings and groups of extremists.
Asif Ali Zardari was the first person to hold office as president and not to be overthrown by military aid. Many of the people that were in political offices in Pakistan received the office because of military power. They used this power to put into motion their ideas and motives. Zardari was able to maintain office full term, partially due to the help of the PPP, which stands for Pakistan's People's Party. The Bhutto family was responsible for founding the PPP and gained great popularity among the Pakistani people. The Bhutto family met great opposition in running for office, but aided in Zardari's rule as president. The people had great influence in the voting that took place for Zardari. 60% of the population was in attendance for the voting and participated.
Even though we can see in the past of Pakistan, they've dealt with a lot of turmoil and and destruction within their own country, from natural disasters to changing of political parties and even a war against terrorists. Recently, you've been able to see that there's a lot of positives within Pakistan. For example, the election of Asif Ali Zardari was historical and profound for the future of Pakistan. And even though there are some setbacks with radicals, the involvement of the United States does seem to impact the country positively through reasons of educational and medical support. As well, the fight against terrorists and the backing of creating an operational republic for Pakistan. Still, there's room for improvement that will happen over the years. But overall, you can see how a country that had an unimpressive start has started to turn their situation around. And now we can see they're heading in a direction that can benefit the world, especially when it comes to their continuation of fighting terrorists and building off the momentum of a true republic government. And I believe that the military of Pakistan has a bit of impact to deal with that, because in a way it seems like this country follows whatever happens to the military. And so we hope that you guys are able to learn a lot more about the military in Pakistan and how it's impacted the country over the years, from the start of 1947 up until modern day and into the future.